Welcome to the Tender Air Show. I'm your host, Andre Jerome Swinton. Today I got two lovely young ladies who's going to share their story. A story that no parent wished to experience. On my right, we have Miss Debbie Brockerton.
Yes.
On my left, we have Miss Audrey Smalls.
Yes.
So, Miss Brockerton,
Yes.
tell us yours, what happened.
Okay, my story is 2014. I have lost my daughter, Nadja. She was a lovely person. My daughter was killed. She was shot multiple times. I didn't even know my daughter was dead because I talked to my daughter at 11 o'clock. Parents of where she was living at, she was with her in-laws, but it was her house. And she didn't even tell me that my daughter was dead at all. I found out my daughter was dead. I was at my grandson basketball, Rashid Jordan game. And I heard everybody was leaving. No one told me anything. So while they was leaving, I come downstairs to see what's going on. I see all this crying at the game. Then I got a phone call saying that my daughter had got killed. The story was told that my daughter, somebody broke in the house and killed my daughter. That wasn't true. My daughter was murdered by her husband. After he killed her, he killed himself. She tried to say that it was my son, but it wasn't my son, it was her son. I had a nervous breakdown for 3 years behind. She had never gave me no sympathy or nothing. And I didn't know where that I went wrong at. Did I went right to say marry him, or did I went wrong? I lost my mom for 3 years behind. It ate me up, it tore me apart. I didn't care about nothing. The only thing I cared about revenge. And I wanted people to hear my story. I didn't have anyone to talk to. So now I begin to share my story around the world with someone else that they can understand. No, it's never going to be all right. But guess what? You get a chance to tell your story. You know, they're not going to let you tell your story. Once your child is gone, it's just swept under the rug. I want people to hear me. Yes, I was angry. I was angry as hell. I wanted to finish killing him. But I can't because it took his own life. I was angry with everybody. So now I can be able to tell somebody else my story. As a matter of fact, I just lost a daughter last month. It's been a month since my other daughter was died. So I look at life different now. You know, because I can people can hear my story. I talks about it. You know, so I feel much better. I didn't have nobody to talk to me now. Now I can understand. You know. So, you know, everybody that lost somebody, just come and hear people's story. Talk about it. It don't matter how you feel, how you stomp your feet, how you react. If you want to cuss about it, it's okay. You feel much better that somebody heard you. You know what I mean? And that's all we want.
Yeah, that's what Tender Air is trying to provide, a platform for people to tell their story, be heard. Miss Smalls, you want to share your story?
Well, in 2001, I lost my son. And actually, his was a tragedy. He actually tried to avoid hitting one bus and hit another bus at the time. And I wasn't here to be able to run up and get to him and have something to look at. So I had to travel to get here. And my mind, I didn't know what to do. My daughter called me on the phone And she was just like, you know, Manny's dead, you know, and I'm saying, what, you know, and I was watching television, and I don't know if anybody remember the TV show when Chris Tucker turned to the white man or the Caucasian man, as a matter of speak. And he had immediately got hit by the bus, and he turned to it within him. And actually, I was watching the television at the time, and that was the last thing that I saw. So I immediately told my daughter that, you know, did you see him? How you know? Somebody can tell you something. You got to see with your eyes. You got to know, you know. And actually, she was old enough to be able to take care of that, but more in shock like I was, because I immediately went into shock. I traveled from North Carolina to Philadelphia. I got here, and the first thing I did was went to the morgue. Okay, and wasn't able to get into the morgue because it was closing weekend. However, I went to the hospital, and I went to go see if he was there, and by the time I got there, his grandmother took him, sent him straight to the yes, the funeral place. So I didn't have an opportunity. I didn't know where he was. They weren't talking to me. Nobody was telling me anything. I was basically just the outsider. And I was like, I had these other children that were younger than him. And I had to be supportive for them, you know, just so that they wouldn't break down or see me break down, because somebody had to be strong, and which I was. I found him the first time I got an opportunity was like 3 days later, when somebody called on the phone and said, have you seen me? Because he's already dressed, and this is where he's at. I'm coming to get you. When I got there, I got to see my son. He broke every bone in his body. Nobody could touch him. He just was shattered. And for me, the family who was participating as far as the funeral was concerned and everything, wouldn't allow me actually not even buy something, anything that could just say, Mommy left you this. You know, I dressed them too, you know, and by me being in shock, I wasn't able to cry. So I was, hey, how y'all doing? You know, glad to see the family, because I could feel the shock of Miss Emily, because I, you know, didn't know how to feel. And I didn't want to see these smaller ones see me again broken down. So the strength came within them as far as being strong at that opportunity, or at that particular time.
That's something, right? Let's talk about like the emotion.
Yeah.
Like, cause you see, like Miss Audrey was just saying, like she is in shock. Like, what was your emotional state like? Like, I know you was explaining that you felt rage.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I felt like it was like devastated. Like, I didn't believe it.
Right.
I didn't believe it. I had to see it. But when I got there to see it, they was fighting. Like, the body was still laying there, and I couldn't come in. You know what I mean? Because my daughter was gone. I didn't have no proof to say this is her house. You understand what I'm saying? So when they all got there, it was just nothing but fighting, trying to get in. But the bodies are still laying there. You know, as I was saying, like, the mother didn't have no consideration. You know, so my thing is, I was so angry, I wanted to hurt. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to kill anything that was moving in there. You know what I mean? And it was the worst thing I ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? I have had more than one funerals, family funerals, and come on in, welcome you in. give you a hug, can show you love. I didn't have no love when my daughter passed from them people. You know what I mean? So I wanted to react. So my family did react. We fought. We actually out there fighting. Like cops and everything. It's just everybody rumbling. It was the worst I ever seen. I never came back to my house and said one word to my mother. Not one word at all. You know what I mean? No sympathy, no nothing. Just saying that somebody broke in the house and killed both of them. It was all kinds of lies. But when our family went to the morgue. When I went to the morgue, the police told me my daughter was shot one time. My daughter was shot multiple times. More than one, more than two. It was at least about 8 or 9 times in her body. All up in the chest. You know? And me to actually see that, my incident, I just freaked out. Charged at the mother, charged at the family. That's just too much. Because my thing had me thinking that she had something to do with it. Because as being a mother, my child was laying at the mall. Yeah, your son laying in there, but remind you, your son took his own life. You know what I'm saying? He took his life. My daughter didn't take her own life. Even the mother would have came to me with a hug, I would have felt much better. Everybody I went to, my family, would be all right. Yeah, I understand, I feel her pain. No one can feel your pain but you. They don't understand because they're not walking in your shoes. When you got somebody around you that's walking in the same shoe that you're walking in, you feel much better because you hear different stories. Different stories. You got people out there now. I just met a lady, like about I told her yesterday. And she was looking up at the ceiling. And I happened to speak to her. And she remembered, she said, "Hey Debbie, how you doing? How the family doing?" I didn't know what was going on in her mind. I knew that wasn't her because she don't act like that. She's a sophisticated young lady. For me to see her like this looking. And I happened to say, "How you doing?" And she told me she lost her son for over his car and his sneakers.
Before you get into that, I want to ask this question, just for both of y'all. But you can start answering it first. Now, you was just talking about like the lies and everything people was telling you and stuff like that. And you was explaining that people wouldn't allow you to do anything for Manny, like to buy the clothes, do anything. Was that to protect your feelings, or I don't really can't nobody really protect your feelings in this type of situation, but why you think people told you them stories and why you think that people didn't allow you to do anything? What was their reason behind that?
Well, for me, I think that since he was living with his father's people and they were more financially stable and I wasn't around because they had them and they felt like, I know, they felt like they had the upper hand. So they looked at me like I was nothing because I was an addict, recovering addict. And they didn't see me in years, they didn't see that I was recovered, so they thought that I was coming to looking raggedy or, so I ain't got nothing. I'm just gonna come up there and just embarrass them. So to them, they were, you have money, so I know, and I felt like I felt real sad. Cause see, for me, I started thinking about the other people. I thought about somebody else but me. I thought about the people on the bus. How did they feel? How did the bus drivers feel? How did the community? You know, what did they see? Thought, you know, their emotions. I didn't think about what was kicking in my heart. I thought about the father. I thought about how his father, you know, how he was feeling. I didn't look at me. I seen a lot of people. I saw them. I wanted them to be happy. I didn't want them to come up and be sad. So I made them happy. You know, I didn't want them to look at me like when you saw me way back then. I want you to be proud that I'm here. You know, and actually at the time of the service, I found out that he has 2 babies on the way, you know, and I had to, then again, that's another situation. Then I got to find out if this is happening, you know, stay in touch with the people. So again, I had a plate full instead of just looking at me. So when I got home after the service, actually, to be honest with you, I left one of my children here. That's how shocked I was. So I had to have somebody pick her up in order to get her back to North Carolina because it was time for me to go because everything started getting bottled up because I was too full. And again, like I said, I didn't have no support. My daughter, of course, you know, she's older, supportive and kept looking or whatever, but they was on her more than, you okay? You all right? It's never again all right, you know, and once I got home, I actually started drinking heavy. Okay, I tried to tune out. Like, you know, for me, I wanted to realize, like, you know, what was his last words? You know, like, was it Mom? You know, I'm getting ready to hit this bus. You know, Mommy! You know, and like I was talking to Mr. Swinton that particular day, and like for him to actually listen to the story that I had to share, because nobody never listened at all. They never did.
So when you were saying, when he said mommy, did he say mommy? You saying basically like when a child is scared or something, we always call out mom.
Yeah, you be like, because I know if a dog was chasing me down the street, I'm running for my mom. I'm not looking for daddy, cousin who, you know, I'm like, Mom. So I think, and I would hear them in my sleep. Because that was my mental state, like, you know, and I would actually, I would wake up and be, that's Manny, y'all, you know, and I know he's a goner. I mean, he's gone, but I'm hearing him. And for years, that's what I did, and I did it for a while, a long time.
I want you to hold that, because I want Miss Debbie to answer about the stories that they told you. And do you think them stories was to like protect you, like your feelings or something, or?
No, the story wasn't here to protect me because me and my daughter was very close. As I was saying, I got off the phone with my daughter at 11 o'clock. I talked to my daughter myself. And our question was, I said, are you coming to get me? She said, no, I'll meet you at the game. Me and my husband anniversaries today. Mom, when I get finished, you know, with my husband, because I don't really want to go sometimes. I promise you I'll come by. I said, all right. I said, how's he doing? She said, I said, where he at? She said, he's sitting on the bed. I'm up doing my hair. And I always tell my kids I love them. Always. I do that now today. To my son, to all my children. So my thing is, she wasn't protecting, she was protecting her son because the lies that she told. You understand what I'm saying? So she didn't want me to know everything. You know, she the one was there. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I know my daughter. You understand what I'm saying? And I just wanted to see my child, you know, laying there, although I went to the morgue like a couple of days afterwards. But even if she would have opened the door and we all went in, as me being taught by a strong woman, I understand. But when it came down to my child, I didn't understand. You know, because that was my child. It ain't like I don't, you know, have experienced that. But your child, something that you had, you just want answers. And the answer that she gave me was not a good answer because you lied to everything. I had to find out on my own. You know what I mean? So, my thing is, it took me a long time, like 3 years, to really sit back and say, well, it happened this way. Because I know my child. See, man, my child talks. You know, we had not a mother relationship, we had a sister relationship. That's when we had that bonding. You know, so she was having a son. Even if I didn't come, because I didn't come first, you had to been fighting my family. You had to fight to get in the door.
Yeah, okay. I see y'all stories where when you went to the scene, you was trying to get in the house because you had to get a visual you wanted to see, right? And the same thing with Miss Audrey, when your daughter called you and told you about your son, you was like, did you see him? Mm-hmm. Anybody can tell you something, but did you see him? So she had to, you was asking her basically like to be your eyes, you know, so I see that. So.
And then one thing, when your loved ones are gone, this is what the cops tell you. Oh, such and such was killed by a husband. Here's the paper. You know, I'm sorry to hear. It's not good. They say you're sorry to hear anything. You know what I mean? It's just a swept under the rug. You know, although my killer that killed my daughter killed herself. I understand that. But my thing, look at everybody else, killer is still out there. It's just swept under the rug. You understand what I'm saying? And as we as being people, these mothers, every mother that's lost their child, gotta carry that burden.
So let me ask you this. So, let's say from that day, that week, like, you said, at one point in your story, you said you wanted to kill everything.
Yes, I did.
So what was so did you have like, what type of, was it a thought or what was your actions like?
Angry.
So you never had no actions like that?
I had an action like that, yes I did. Yes I did. I had the young man that came over. And he came over to talk to me about what's Najee had or whatever. I didn't like how he was talking from the first beginning. I didn't want to see nobody got period. And I went upstairs and it was a gun upstairs. I did load it. And I invited him in. I meant to invite him in. I invited him in. He came in, telling me about whatever. I loaded it. I told him to get over this side. I was going back upstairs to get the gun to blow his brains out in my house. When I went up there, the gun wasn't up there. Somebody moved it. So I went to the kitchen. I got 2 big butcher knives and I had it in my hand. And the only thing he was like, home is dead, home is dead. I just came over here because of talk. I didn't want to hear nothing. My brother stopped me. I said, Debbie, no, it's come on. Let me talk to you. At that time, I let him talk to me, and he was getting them out the door. So I have been places that I didn't supposed to be. Yes.
And Miss Audrey, your thing was like a little different. Your situation, like you said, you was like trying to make sure everybody was okay. You was concerned about even the bus driver and the spectators or whoever that might have seen it, how their mental state and stuff was, you know. And Miss Debbie was one that hurt. So at one time you said that you wished his mom probably would have hugged you, and you think your actions would have been different from there. But
My action would have been a lot of different if she would show more respect. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't show that. You know, she didn't show. I didn't see her till like about a week later. She comes up. When she came up, she said, "Come on, go to the mall with me because I want to see my baby." So I went. She didn't tell me, or she told me live before I left. Oh, somebody broke in the house. You know what I mean? Somebody broke in the house and she was shot one time. I went down there, it was ugly. I just snapped on her. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. They had to let her leave first and me leave last. I didn't want to see her son. I didn't go down there for her son. My answer is, what made him do that? Why would he take my daughter's life? You know, you hear all this noise in the cellar upstairs. Because you told the police I read the thing. You heard noise and all in the cellar, and you heard all of this and all of that. Somebody came in the back door. You didn't know who it was, so you ran out the front door. All these lies. You know what I mean? Although it was my daughter, but you'd have came with me more better than that. You know what I mean? I would have been able to, couldn't deal with it at first, at all anyway. But I can better understand. But my thing is, I didn't understand. What went wrong? What made him kill my daughter like that? You know what I mean? Why? You know, so, and the lies. That's what made him, that's what bothers me a whole lot. It bothers me today that I think she had something to do with it, and I say it. Because as being a parent, I can't uphold her for my son. You know what I mean? But as being a mother, and I know my daughter or my child did something wrong, I want to come. I want to come. It was her husband. They husband and wife. You hear all this noise and you didn't wake up and see what was going on, and it was in the daytime. She called me at 11 o'clock and I didn't get off the phone at 12. So my thing is y'all had this plan. That's all I could say. On her day of her anniversary, y'all had a plan. So I wanted to know what reason that he did that. What else did not just say it? She didn't tell me that. So I still don't know it today, and I still question it.
right, like certain things we'd never know the answers to.
No answer.
But then when you got certain stories around, it just make things more muddy and more confusing.
Yeah. So that's how I learned to share my story.
I'm glad you're sharing it today. Miss Audrey. Now you were saying you used to wake up, you hear Manny calling you or saying mom. Okay, for this question, I want y'all to tell the people like how y'all dealt with the situation. Like what did y'all do like to overcome certain things that was going on? Like for you, like hearing his voice and stuff like that. Like how did you deal with it?